Ladies and gentlemen, we are live, and it is the Daytona 500 on NASCAR 21 Ignition. The final season kicks off right here tonight with some Speed Week action as 40 drivers take the field in the Great American Race, looking to start their final season of NASCAR 21 Ignition off with a bang. Of course, the 2021 champion Kyle Larson, there he is. He is ready to go, and as well as the other 39 drivers. For this season, we will be racing as Ryan Blaney, my favorite driver, for this NASCAR Cup Series season. This is not included with the career mode. This is a separate season of its own. But now that the stages are out with this game, let's do it tonight. Let's get this thing kicked off, and let's get this next season started off with a bang. First and foremost, we're going to go through tonight's starting lineup. On the front row, it is an all Hendrick Motorsports lockout. Alex Bowman will be on the pole. William Byron will be starting outside of the front row in second. Eric Almirola and Bubba Wallace will line up in row 2. Those were the dual winners in real life at Daytona earlier this season. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Kevin Harvick will line up in row number 3. Harvick, the 2007 Daytona 500 winner. Christopher Bell and Austin Dillon in row 4. Austin Dillon, a former Daytona 500 winner back in 2017. Daniel Suarez and Chase Elliott will be looking for their first Daytona 500 victory in row number 5. Ryan Blaney, our driver, and Denny Hamlin will line up in row number 6 after qualifying today. Hamlin, a 3-time Daytona 500 winner. Kurt Busch and Kyle Larson back in row number 7 for this one. Again, 2 defending champions. Kyle Busch, Matt DiBenedetto back in row number 8. Kyle Busch still searching for his first Daytona 500. Austin Cindric and Kaz Grala will be back in row number 9, and Joey Logano and Chase Briscoe will be rounding out the top 10 rows in the top half of the field in tonight's race. As usual, like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content as we are about to get into this one. The Daytona 500 is only 24 days away, so let's get this race underway here tonight. All right. Busch Clash as well. Live commentary for that race will be in 10 days on the channel. We'll be doing the live commentary for the heat races and the actual Busch Clash main event on that same race day. This is my first real test with this game since the patch, so we'll hope for it. 200 laps on tap for this one here tonight. 500 miles scheduled distance. Stages will be on for this season, and I will be doing the points myself. All these races will be taking place on the Race Now game mode. Ethan Joshua Rumsey, DB Forever 85, Davion West, Billy Kramer, Michael Turner, welcome into the stream, everybody. Thanks for the good luck, and hopefully we have some great racing here tonight. We know this game can be a hassle. No stability help will be on for the 550 tracks again on this game. That would include tonight. Expert difficulty for varying races. Depending on the difficulty of the racetrack tonight will be on Champion. Green flag is in the air. Alex Bowman will lead the field to the green, and we're underway for the final season of NASCAR 21 Ignition. The Daytona 500 is upon us. Denny Hamlin got launched out of a cannon there, and he's able to get to the inside lane in front of Ryan Blaney as Bowman pulls clear of the 24 of William Byron, it looks like now. Off of turn 2, down the back straightaway they go. Blaney holding in line on the bottom right behind Daniel Suarez. Gonna lift. He doesn't feel like bump drafting him. Kyle Larson nearly gets into the right rear corner panel of Blaney as he goes to the outside with Kurt Busch. More cars up on the top. Now the top 3 pulled down to the bottom to help protect Bubba Wallace up there inside the top 3 after qualifying in the front 2 rows. And lap 1 will be led by Alex Bowman, the pole sitter. 3 by 3 into the tri-oval. Couple drivers getting shuffled out of line already. Schneider's consistent with trying to stay on the bottom with Daniel Suarez. It's tight! Contact and up the track into the wall goes Kurt Busch. Ryan Blaney. Cautions are on, but will we get one? Yes, we will. Caution is out already in the Daytona 500 on lap 2. Nothing Blaney did wrong there. Kurt Busch got a little bobbly in the middle lane. And that is very, very unfortunate for the 12. And they will be coming down for 4 tires full repairs, and fuel. Not the way we wanted to get the season started off. Blaney didn't want to be 3 wide, but Kurt Busch got forced into the middle lane because there was a checkup on the outside, and Schneider couldn't check up because he had cars on the inside lane right behind him, and obviously heavy damage to the 12. I'm not sure if he's going to go a lap down. Again, this is the first race I've done since the patch. But we're going to race this one out regardless. 500 miles at Martinsville is too long. It would be. That'd be 1,000 laps. Well, Schneider back to last place. Our first caution on lap 2. I don't think anybody was expecting that tonight. As the green flag is back in the air. Is there a right front tire down on the 12? It's hard to tell. The car turned right on the restart. 65 laps are in stage 1. See as Blaney tries to get up to speed. That was the game that turned myself into the wall there on the restart. Pack already splitting up into 3 groups, it looks like. Blaney's getting up to about 188 miles an hour on his own, despite the damage. He'll keep fighting. We don't know if he's a lap down or not after the repairs, but there's a long way to go in this one. 65 laps in each of the first 2 stages of tonight's race, leading the final stage of the race to be 70 laps in length, all fairly even for the most part, but the final stage will be the longest of the 3. 1 pit stop will have to be made in each stage as well. Fuel window will be 36 to 40 laps based off of our Daytona 500 on the custom schedule season, which was also on Race Now. Blaney's closing in on the pack ahead of him. He's still hitting pretty decent speeds. The problem is now he's at the very back and he's going to have to work his way forward. The good news is it's a little bit more calm back here than what it was at the front for obvious reasons, as we saw moments ago. He's going to lift to get out of the gas. He doesn't want to go 3 wide if he can help it. He's just going to hop down into the bottom lane underneath the 52 of Josh Bilicki after the early struggles for the 12 car. 14th in practice was Ryan Blaney, and 11th in qualifying for the Daytona 500. He is not a lap down, at least at the very back of the pack, or wouldn't be the only one a lap down. If he is, we've got some problems, it looks like, for some drivers further up the way, as this final group is starting to catch the second group all of a sudden, and they're 3 wide heading into turn 3, which is not where Blaney wants to be. Luckily, he was clear of the 36 of David Reagan. That was a similar spot that he was put in turn 1, leading to that first caution. Blaney just managing the throttle. Looks like Michael McDowell leading this group. Blaney just trying to be as patient as he possibly can. He was trying to at the front of the field, but maybe at the back you were expecting maybe a little less racing. I would say that's not the case right now. It seems just as racy as what it was at the front. Bit of a checkup in the middle of the corner. Blaney got into the back of Timmy Hill. Give him a bit of a bump draft there. 74 degrees. Partly cloudy skies is the forecast, I should say, for this race. Can't pass below that double yellow line. Schneider doesn't want to be 3 wide either. He's got to be 3 wide anyway into turn 1, whether he likes it or not. David Reagan's going to go up the middle with a run. A lot of checking up going on down the back straightaway again. Martin Truex Jr. in the back of this pack as well, looking for his first Daytona 500 victory tonight. Restall Cup, welcome to the stream as well. BJ McLeod trying to go down a side draft to 12 of Blaney. Blaney's got to be careful on the apron. Saw how loose the car got. He was getting squeezed by the 78, and he was just trying to make sure that McLeod wasn't going to make any contact with him. Blaney did a great job keeping it off the back of the 12, allowing him to gather the race car back up again. Schneider laying back. That's going to give him a massive run down this back straightaway. 200 miles an hour. He's not going to pass the run up this time. 3 wide into turn 3. Making the move under Truex. Oh, gets clipped into his teammate, Austin Cindric. But again, he did not want to pass that run up, and that was very gutsy from the 12, to say the least. And that definitely could have been the second accident. You don't know how many hits it's going to take before a DNF. 3 wide again. Timmy Hill getting crowded. A Penske sandwich between Cindric and Blaney. Schneider clears Hill into the corner and up to 32nd. Blaney not going to go 3 wide into the corner this time, but he gets checked down. He went up the track a bit, but so did the 15. 15, I should say, went down as Blaney was coming up, which led to the contact that time. Doesn't take much to spin these cars out, as he saw in lap 2 already. Cole Custer moves down just a tad into the 12 of Blaney, and he clips Truex up the racetrack. There they go again. That's going to bring out our second yellow, I'd have to imagine. As Blaney slides down towards the infield, is able to make the save on the inside of the racetrack. No yellow somehow, as we stay green at Daytona. Custer moved down that time into the 12. Not really anything Blaney could have done there. Just trying to get through the pack as quickly as he can, but he was also being patient, just kind of riding in line. But the cars are moving around so much in the center of the pack. That's how we saw the first caution. And that's how we saw that spin. Blaney was very fortunate not to hit anything, as well as Martin Truex Jr., but somehow no caution. Even with Truex spinning on the racetrack, the 12 spun down towards the apron, but the 19 spun on the track. Somehow everybody got through both of those race cars unscathed. Kyle Larson currently leading the Daytona 500. Think Blaney will make it to the finals this season? In real life? I don't know. That would be really the only thing he could do to improve off of last season, unless he just goes out there and, I guess, wins more than 3 races, but made it to the round of 8. He was consistently a top 4 through 7 driver last year. It was definitely the best season of his career, both on, you know, a week-to-week basis. It was the best car at Penske all season. It'll be interesting. A rough start in the Daytona 500, though, for Ryan Blaney on this season. 17 laps in. We've had 1 caution back on lap 2. Blaney was involved as he see the damage to his race car. The speed of the overall car itself is not completely out of the question. It is still there. Even the single car speed, we're seeing speeds at about 193 to 194 miles an hour on corner entry. As you see this time into turn 3, all by himself, he's going to hit 193 miles an hour into turn 3. He just needs some drafting help now, which he has none of. He needs to stay on the lead lap to the end of stage number 1. And then we saw a spin a few laps ago as well, which no caution came out, involving the 12 and the 19. I think Bell wins 4 races this year. That's a bold prediction. $15 people watching right now. Smash that like button, subscribe if you are new for more daily NASCAR content. On the road to 10,000 subs this year in 2022, calendar year, is the goal. Growing every step of the way as we hit 1,000 subscribers a couple months ago. And we got some big things planned for this 2022 upcoming NASCAR season. Starting off with the Busch Clash live commentary. I'll be doing much more live commentary races this year. Originally looking at 20 races. I'm actually looking to expand on that, looking to go 22 to 24 races this season for live commentary. And then, you know, obviously the races I'm at the track, like Daytona, Auto Club, those first couple weeks to start the season, I can't do live commentary, but the other races I will, whether it is a cup race, an Xfinity race, or a truck race throughout the race weekend. As long as I'm not at the track that weekend, I will be doing something, so that'll be a lot of fun. Try to do the full 600 at Daytona. Dirty air causes your car to turn sharp left, coming out of turn 2 on the inside. Guessing you meant 500 at Daytona? Yeah, handling with these cars on this game, particularly on the ovals, whether it's 550 or 750, with the car pulling so far to the left, it can be very, very challenging. Ryan Blaney feels fairly stable in this race. The problem is the contact with the cars around him, and he has that lead pack humming right now, led by Kyle Larson and Bubba Wallace. We're only halfway to the pit window. Everybody will have to make a stop at some point in this opening stage. Blaney pitted during that first caution, but he still won't be able to make it on field to the end of the 65-lap opening stage anyway. Blaney is catching the backmarker cars as well. He's going to have to stay in front of the lap cars one way or another. They're going to have a massive run on him when they get there. Single file right now. It looks like they've even broken up over the last couple of laps. About 5 to 6 cars potentially in that lead group. Can Kyle Larson have a dominating season on this Race Now season on this game? Coke 0400, gotcha. Matthew Ring, welcome to the stream. Do you recommend this game? No, I do not. Unfortunately. This is the first I played it since the patch. The AI are just... man, as you've seen, if you've watched from the drop of the green flag today, the reason why we were involved in the wreck in 40th, it's one thing for that to happen every now and then. You know, with the AI getting into a situation like that, I get it, but it's literally almost every race we run. It happens. Particularly, again, on the ovals. The road courses on this game are pretty good, for the most part. But the ovals are just so tricky. Blaney was able to block Kyle Larson's big run down the back straightaway that last lap. Larson holds on to the lead. It's a 4-car group at the front of the field trying to put the 12 a lap down. And with the help from this backpack, they are definitely catching those backmarker cars in a hurry. Austin Dillon now going for the race lead after a good qualifying effort for himself. And it's Larson to the lead down the back straightaway with help from Kevin Harvick. Larson pulls up to block Harvick. Austin Dillon to the outside in the middle of turns 3 and 4. Not going to get there. Gave up the bottom, and he may get hung out to dry. Harvick thought about helping him. He did not, though. He instead goes with Larson. And Blaney's starting to pull him just a bit as he is catching the 66 of Timmy Hill's draft in front of him. And Blaney's got good speed in the race car still. He's just got to get that track position. And obviously stay out of an accident going forward. He takes another hard hit. I don't think he's going to have the speed in the race car. He's very lucky to have it still, even with the damage he's got currently. Cerebral Assassin, welcome to the stream. 20 people now in the chat down below. Thank you for tuning in. Blaney's got to check up in the middle of turns 3 and 4. Gave Timmy Hill a little bit of a push. Looking to the inside of Timmy Hill off the exit of turn 4. That stalled Blaney out a little bit. Larson couldn't get a run to get around him, and now Timmy Hill's going to hold up Larson and company. Blaney with the massive run to the back bumper of Josh Bilicki, giving him a bit of a push. Now to the inside off the exit of turn 2, but no help for Blaney. Trying to side draft that left rear corner panel. Blaney couldn't quite do it enough that time. Another car pulls out of line briefly. That would be David Reagan in the 36. Blaney to the outside following Blaney. Pulls down, clear of Reagan. Little bump draft to the back of Blaney again. Got to be very careful of that. I know it's a super speedway, but again, that's part of how the AI react in this game, and how your car can react with contact with the AI, even if you hit him square, as Blaney just hit Blaney. Martin Truex Jr. leading this group. Blaney to the outside of Blaney. Holds his line, follows Joey Gase now. I rewatched the Town Hall, yes. Thoughts on it? Oh, man, big checkups off turn 4. Blaney now with a little bump draft to Joey Gase. I think it's Truex checking up, and it ends up checking up the rest of the field. Blaney to the outside of the 53 for now. I mean, I didn't like the answers that they gave for most of the questions, to be completely honest. I'm sure that's what most people were upset with. Most of it had to deal with the rearview mirror and the telemetry in the game, which made really no sense whatsoever to anybody who has played, you know, racing or NASCAR video games in the past would know that the issues that they said that they were having and the reasons why the telemetry and the rearview mirror are not the game, are not the actual reasons for that. And that's just kind of the situation we've had with motorsport games since the release of this game. Even with Twitter, for instance, they're silent. They don't actually come out, tell you the truth of the reasons why they don't own up to their own mistakes, I guess is the best way to explain it. Some of the stuff, yes, but very brief. They don't own up to the mistakes they made with the game. They don't, you know, apologize. What they do is they cover up for it. Quite frankly, I feel like that's what's ticking most people off with it. I'm not one that gets mad at it, but I will say I've had my frustrations with this game and with motorsport games in the, you know, since the upload or the launch of this game. It's affecting the content on the channel on a weekly basis. Hopefully we can get to the end of this one tonight. Obviously we've had our issues already, but no glitches at least up to this point so far, and hopefully the stages go well as well. 670 horsepower is low. Welcome to the stream. More horsepower when I'm in bed, my goodness. Mr. You Bastard, welcome to the stream as well. Kind of sounds like U.S. government. Ryan Blaney, Martin Truex Jr., Cody Ware kind of pulling away. Joey Gase holding up the leaders, it seems like. And even the leaders are more staggered out. So that pressure that Blaney had to try and stay on the lead lap there, he threw some good blocks on Larson and Austin Dillon when they were leading, trying to get around the 12. He was able to stay in front. He's made a few passes for position as well. Austin Dillon back in the lead, but about 4.5 seconds is the difference between Blaney and Dillon. Again, Blaney probably not looking at stage points at stage 1. The main goal, though, in the Daytona 500 is to win the Great American Race. For those of you that don't know, I have not won at Daytona on this game. On either the career mode or the custom schedule season, I'm 0 for 5. Coming into this one here tonight. Heck, I haven't even won at the Daytona Road Course in this game yet either. Got the Daytona Road Course and the Daytona Oval. It would be 0 for 7 total. Quinn Houff, Anthony Alfredo, 2 cars drafting with each other a few seconds out ahead of the 12. Blaney's gradually pulling away from Martin Truex Jr. as well. Kevin Harvick now to the race lead at the front of the field. 24 viewers currently. Thanks for everybody tuning in. For those of you wondering what this final season exactly means, this is the final season mode. This game doesn't actually have a season mode, but kind of when the game launched, when I ran a custom schedule season, this is exactly like it, only instead I'm running as my favorite driver, Ryan Blaney, as we planned on doing. And instead of no stages, now that the stages are brought to the game, we will have stages for this season. Every race will be live streamed on this season on a semi-regular basis, still doing career mode stuff on the side as well, and as well NASCAR 05 on the side, so kind of mixing all of those in to incorporate a little bit more NASCAR 21 Ignition content on the channel than what we have been doing throughout most of the off-season thus far. As the actual season starts to kick in, want to have more current, drivers racing in NASCAR video game live streams, helping out with the commentary. Little side-by-side action. Blaney coming through. Quinn Houff and Anthony Alfredo were side-drafting each other so much that Blaney had such a gigantic run behind them once he caught him in the draft. Blows by him 3 wide off the exit of turn 2, making it look easy. And he was able to do that because there wasn't a huge pack of traffic. Obviously, if there was a bigger pack, he wouldn't have been able to make the passes that simple, but it was just 2 cars. They were side-drafting each other enough. Blaney had the massive run. It was at least 5 miles per hour faster. Made the easy move. So again, Blaney topped off on fuel during the first caution back on lap 2. You would think he could run a little bit further than everybody else, but again with this game, the telemetry, which there is none of, but I should say the fuel gauge itself is a little off compared to not only real life, but even previous NASCAR games. Pit window based off the custom schedule season that we had back when I ran with your guys' voted driver, Christopher Bell. It was 36 to 40 laps in the Daytona 500 for the fuel window. Because that was race now and this is race now, it should be about the same. The only thing that could possibly make it different is just because of the patches. Especially the most recent one today, of course. Who knows, maybe it throws it off. It's really a guessing game with this game anymore. But that's the gauge we have to go off of. And they went green at lap 8 following the caution, so they had a few caution laps, about 6 laps worth. Shiner's rallied himself, though, up 9 positions from last to 31st. NASCAR God 99, welcome to the stream. Again, there will be one pit stop at each stage tonight at some point. Not sure if the AI will pit or not during the caution. I have seen from other content creators in the NASCAR YouTube community with this game that they tend to not pit under the stages, but I have not seen anybody do any full races yet. So, with that being said, it could be different with a full race. They could take it realistically, more realistically. We'll just have to wait and see when that first stage ends up coming to an end. Blaney doesn't plan on making any adjustment changes, though, and he may potentially go for a little bit of a strategy called taking fuel only. And then just pitting for tires at the end of the stage. Tires of not that much importance at Daytona. And he did put 4 tires on the car. Granted, he only had 2 laps on him because of the lap 2 caution earlier. And it's going to be just 1 can of fuel, just enough to get him to the end of the stage, which would be about a half a tank. He's going to stay out for right now, though. And there we go. We got some pit stops. 1 car out the grass and around. It's the 16 of Kaz Gralla. He has spun. So issues getting into the pit lane for 1 driver. We've seen that in the Daytona 500 in recent years. Kaz Gralla going for a spin out in the grass. Lap 38 right now for Blaney. Now, he hasn't had a lot of drafting help currently on this run. Yep, Jacques Villeneuve will be at the Daytona 500 this year. Boss Brody, welcome to the stream as well. Blaney going to stay out of the pits one more lap in case any cars in this pack in front of him hit the pit lane and there's issues in front of him. They will hit the pits. They will get down pretty organized fashion. Blaney back inside the top 10, but he still has to pit and now to the lead. For the first time at the Daytona 500, Ryan Blaney leads. He will pit this time by. He's the last car on the track. Oh, we almost have issues. Quinn Houff clipping the apron, or was on the apron trying to get up to speed. He made a great save in the middle of turns 1 and 2 to keep that car from spinning. That could have been a caution Blaney needed. In the middle of green flag stops especially. But Blaney will be making his way into the pits this time. He's got to make sure not to lock the tires up. As he downshifts, 55 miles per hour is the pit road speed limit. And he gets down perfectly. Fuel only stop for Ryan Blaney. And it'll be just a half a can, or sorry, 1 can of fuel, half a tank of fuel, enough to get to the end of the stage. Sliding into his pit box, looking for a quick stop. So we continue to stay green. Caution is out! Caution is out, and that is exactly what Ryan Blaney needed. He will restart from the lead after our second caution of the day. So now, what looked like he had no chance to win the stage or get any sort of stage points, he will get the restart from the lead at Daytona. He was on pit road, so all those drivers he would have lapped got back on the lead lap, but he will be in the lead for the restart. 20 laps to go in the stage. Former F1 driver Jacques Villeneuve, of course. Former F1 champ, if I'm not mistaken. He also is a former winner of the Indy 500. Big name to have in the Daytona 500 field this year. A new team that's going to be running part-time. It's a non-charter team. So Blaney led his first lap in the pits during this race. Now he'll lead his first green flag lap of the race. And we got a caution in the tri-oval again. They wreck our third caution of the race. All in stage 1. So cautions breeding cautions in the Daytona 500, and we'll get to another restart. Blaney stays out to keep the track position. Gets a good jump initially. Who knows, might have had the big one back there. It's tough to tell. Slowing the race pace down a bit with these yellows. Blaney's got to go high to try and block Kyle Larson. Larson with a run. Caution bought Blaney a little bit more times. Less laps he has to try to hold on to the lead. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in the lead pack. Brad Keselowski's up here. So after wrecking on lap 2, the cautions have played out perfectly for Ryan Blaney to lead now. Yeah, we have more than 5 laps of fuel left, I can guarantee that. But with no rearview mirror, this could be a potential problem for Ryan Blaney trying to not make any mistakes here. Yeah, I do remember him running road course races in the Nationwide Series. The $32 General car. So it does seem as if some of the field is a lap down, because Austin Dillon, Tyler Reddick are shown 6th and 7th, Brad Keselowski in 2nd. So the game is still having scoring issues under cautions. I'm not sure if that was the case under the second yellow or if it was the third yellow that threw everything out of loop. But one of the cautions has messed up the running order just a bit. And they are side by side for the lead. The Penske Fords of Brad Keselowski and Ryan Blaney. Austin Dillon, the lap car, leading the pack now. Splitting up the RCR cars are Dillon and Reddick. Blaney led that lap at the line by inches over Keselowski, and he holds on in front of him. Drafting behind Austin Dillon in the middle of turns 1 and 2. Santiago Kid, welcome to the stream. Where's Alex Bowman? In what position? Well, he started on the pole. I'm not sure exactly where everybody is running because the leaderboard in this game is out of whack, especially right now after the restart. But we will get to check at the end of the stage where everybody is running in 10 laps. So 10 laps to go in stage 1 this time by. Blaney leads. And with that perfectly timing second yellow, he has a chance to win the opening stage of the season. And there will be some difficult tracks for him this season. We know the 550 tracks are going to be a struggle outside of the super speedways, and even the super speedways in general can be. Massive run for the 12. He gets to the inside of the 3. He'll have help from his teammate Keselowski, who's going to make his way down to the inside. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. on the lead lap in 3rd. So it seems as if the top 5 cars on the lead lap, everybody from 6th on back is a lap down after the most recent yellow, either the 3rd or the 2nd yellow, whatever one it was. Just trapped the field a lap down for no apparent reason. Dark Crypto, Herbie Salomon, welcome to the stream. 9 to go, stage 1 that time by. Blaney's going to be good on fuel. He took fuel only, so he will have to pit for tires at the end of this stage. We'll have to see if everybody else will make their way into the pit or not at the end of stage number 1. These other drivers are trying to get back in the lead lap, like William Byron, Kurt Busch, Ross Chastain. Austin Dillon got back in the lead lap briefly. Long way to go in this one. And knowing that stage is coming to an end, if they could just get around Blaney, get to the end of the stage, even if they don't get an immediate yellow, that will work out just the same. I would be down for a meetup for anybody going to Daytona, or any racetrack really this season. If you don't run into me beforehand. I'll be down there all speed weeks. From Thursday for the duels, Friday for the truck race, ARCA, Xfinity on Saturday, and the 500 on Sunday. Never mind the damage on the front of Ryan Blaney's race car. He's still got the horsepower. Although he got quite a ways ahead of the pack in the tri-oval, and that gave a big run to the 17 of Chris Buescher. Blaney goes high to block. How about Anthony Alfredo in the top 10 right now for front row? Can we see a first-time Daytona 500 winner? Block's being pulled on Buescher. The scoring is messed up right now currently, Billy. Again, the top 5 are on the lead lap. Fortunately enough, Blaney was one of them on the lead lap. We had a caution while he was on pit road. We have 6 laps to go in stage 1. A lot of the drivers in the top 5 are drivers who have never won the Daytona 500. Ryan Blaney, Brad Keselowski, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Bubba Wallace. Much needed stage points coming up as well as far as the battle for the regular season championship goes. I know it's only the first race of the year, but again, there are going to be bad races this season. You cannot guarantee that every race is going to go smoothly in this game, especially. So Blaney trying to get all the points he can in the season opener in the Daytona 500. Boy, he's got a shot to win the opening stage. That would be a playoff point as well. Assuming he, of course, makes it into the playoffs. I'm talking about scoring in general. I've not gotten to the end of the stage yet. Bubba Wallace, though, is in second place for position. Had a big run, nowhere to go with it in the middle of turns 3 and 4. He thought about going to the outside, instead just checks back on the bottom. He's being a little bit patient. As long as we don't get a caution, he'll have time. He's still got 4 laps to get around the 12. These drivers are best friends, of course. We've seen them work together well on super speedways. Most notably in the dual races back in 2018 where Blaney and Bubba pushed each other to finish 1-2 in those respected races. Wallace with a run to the high side. Blaney to block. Ross Chastain is with him. He'll go to the bottom. He's a lap down, trying to get back on the lead lap. Free pass is not awarded in this game, though. At the end of the stages, maybe it will be. I guess we've never ran a race with stages yet. And as far as the stages go, by the way, for the career mode, I will have stages on, but not until next season. The final 3 races that we have left in Season 1 of the career mode, I don't plan on doing stages for, just to keep the points the same as what they were for the entire season. It just, to me, it wouldn't make sense to change it for the final 3 races. Chastain looking high. Blaney going up to block him. Not the car he is racing, but he would like to keep him not only a lap down, but also if he gets to the outside, Wallace might take that run in line behind him and get to the lead as well. There'd be no chance that Blaney would probably be able to hop in between the 2 cars. But a 3-car breakaway coming to 2 to go in Stage 1 of the Daytona 500. If you would have told me I was even going to win a stage today, I don't think I would have actually thought that that was going to be possible in this game, but this is why you keep racing. This is why you never give up. Even after the lap 2 caution, Blaney stayed in it. He had a perfect timing caution while he was back in 31st. Oh no, he's out of fuel! With 2 to go in the stage, he is out of gas. Oh, and the 23 of Bubba Wallace turns him into turn 3. Caution is out, and that is going to likely end the stage. Blaney will finish 4th in the stage. Bubba Wallace will win Stage 1. What was that? I don't know how I ran out of gas. The only thing I could... We had 2 cautions. I just noticed the car was slow all of a sudden. I mean, Blaney's going to finish 4th in the stage still. Going to have to take a picture for points purposes. Because I will have to do the points myself on this season. I'm trying to figure out how Blaney ran out of fuel, though. Bubba Wallace wins the stage. Kyle Larson 2nd. Stenhouse 3rd. Blaney 4th. Keselowski 5th. Bowman 6th. Chastain 7th. McDowell 8th. Bell 9th. And Austin Dillon rounds out the top 10. 4th caution of the race in Stage 1. And all the way down to Martin Truex Jr. in last place currently. Wow, Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin outside the top 30. So on to Stage 2. Schneider is most definitely going to have to pit. 4 tires and fuel will be coming. And he will be making some damage repairs as well. And that might knock more speed out of the race car, unfortunately. The good news is there's not many cars on the lead lap. And he will be in the top 10, should be in the top 10 on the restart. I don't know how I ran out of gas. That doesn't make any sense. How we would have... The only thing I could think of, when the caution came out when I was on pit road, I'm wondering if when it came out and we were fueling the race car, that the game didn't finish fueling the race car. Like, when the caution came out, that was as much fuel as we got in the car. That's the only logical explanation for why we ran out of gas with a lap and a half to go. Because we put a half a tank of gas in, but we also had 12 laps of caution. We had 12 laps of caution from lap 40 when I pit to 65. I mean, and a half a tank would be 18 to 20 laps. So logically, we wouldn't have even ran 18 laps of green flag racing from our last pit stop to when the stage would have ended. It was less than 18 laps, so the math doesn't add up. The only thing that makes sense to me is we ran out of gas because when the caution came out, the second caution came out when I was on pit road, it did not finish fueling the race car. Which is a game error, not my fault. Like, how am I supposed to know that? And again, with telemetry, you would know that. Without telemetry, it's a little bit harder. Blaney scored in 5th, but again, a randomized running order on the restart has him towards the back of the pack. In fact, with the back marker cars at the rear of the field, he has definitely wrecked a little bit of speed out of the race car. He's not quite hitting 193 miles an hour on corner entry like he was. Plus, he's got a little bit of drafting help, too. Without drafting help, he was hitting 193. So the car is definitely damaged. There are definitely major problems with the 12 of Blaney after he has now been involved in 2 accidents today. One at the start of the race on lap 2, and then one at lap 64 to end stage 1. Fuel gauge is shorter in this game. It is, but we still... If you take a half a tank... I know the fuel gauge is shorter in this game. In other games, you would probably be able to go more than 36 laps, let's say. At bare minimum, we can go 36. Half a tank is 18 laps of fuel, plus whatever I had left in the car when I did pit. And we didn't even run 18 laps of green flag. Like I said, the only logical explanation is when the caution came out when I was on pit road, it just stopped giving me fuel when the caution waved. And because I stayed out of the pits, because I was on pit road, I wasn't going to pit again. That's what ended up biting us. So Blaney again riding around like he did earlier. He had one perfectly timing yellow, but then he also had one that did not help so much. So the playing field kind of even as far as that goes. The good news is he is still on the lead lap and running in the 5th position. And as long as he stays on the lead lap, of course, a shot to win this race will be of a possibility, and a great possibility at that with the lack of cars on the lead lap. We'll see if anybody else could get around those leaders up there in time for another yellow, of course, as well. No tire limit as well for the Cup Series on any of my game modes. James Davison to the outside. Blaney didn't feel like blocking it. David Reagan ended up going with the 12 anyway instead of the 15. I'm going to try to alternate through the different camera angles for the first time in the race today. It's going to be hard when we get to the in-car cam with the damage, but what the heck. We'll do it anyway. It's Daytona. As long as nobody gets in front of us, I think we'll be alright. And with being in a 3-car group right now, this is probably our best chance for us to be able to work through the camera angles for the first time in this race. Oh, we got trouble in the tri-oval. Multiple cars are around. I think we have some pit stops going around. One car was down in the grass, but we continue to stay green at Daytona. Blaney up to second. So they did not pit during the stage break. They are pitting now. So this will end up giving Ryan Blaney the lead eventually. I think what he's going to end up doing here is he's just going to end up taking fuel only again, but he's going to just put a full tank of gas in instead of a half a tank just to be safe. Because obviously the tires made it to the end of the stage. No problem. As long as he doesn't lock them up coming into the pits, which he didn't when he made that green flag stop back in stage 1. And we got more cars hitting the pit lane, and we got trouble again. Now we got 2 cars around on the pit lane. We continue to stay green at Daytona. Massive pack coming up for Ryan Blaney. He's just going to get on the brakes. He's going to check up. He's going to play it smart. He has to drop it all the way down to 150 miles an hour, but better safe than sorry. Blaney to the lead now for the second time today in the Daytona 500. Gets to the inside of Anthony Alfredo down the back straightaway. He has Alfredo cleared going into turn 3. Great heads-up awareness there from Ryan Blaney to see the carnage in front of him. Again, no yellow for it. We've had 4 cautions today, so the cautions are obviously on. But they've been very inconsistent. One car just stopped in the middle of the tri-oval. That was Timmy Hill. And he got ran into from behind. Another car checking up as Blaney roars by. I think these guys are running out of fuel. Something. Tyler Reddick checked up all of a sudden going into turn 1, and Blaney makes the pass on him. Eyes peeled at all times. This has definitely been a wild Daytona 500 so far. And maybe the most unpredictable one we've ever had on the channel. No matter what game it's been. Still have more cars coming out of the pit lane. Blaney staying extra wide just in case. William Byron, who qualified on the outside of the front rows back in 23rd. He had some damage to the back of his race car. Even with that bad restart for Blaney, he's staying in it, and he's right back in the lead again. They're right at that window where they may be able to make it on fuel to the end of stage 2, but it's tough to tell for sure. We restarted at lap 67. So we know Ryan Blaney can go 36 laps from there because he's at least. They're taking 4 fresh tires. They are 3 wide in the tri-oval. Not that far in front of Blaney as well. Couple cars down on the apron of the racetrack, getting up to speed. Timmy Hill, Chris Buescher. This 4-car group out in front of Ryan Blaney is getting pretty racy right now. Blaney's actually catching him in the draft as well, so he's got a massive run into turn 3, but he's just going to sit behind him. Field is as spread out now during the green flag pit stops as it has been all day long. And Blaney in a good position, really just trying to take care of what's left of the race car after the 2 accidents he's already been involved in today. He's got to run. He'll get to the inside, making a pass quickly on Austin Cindric, and Cindric will pull in line behind his teammate. Blaney going to pull out a line with Custer. Custer looking to make a pass on his teammate. Blaney to the inside of Anthony Alfredo. Makes the pass. Follows Custer in the middle of turns 3 and 4. Alvarola staying wide. Custer checking up in the tri-oval again. There's another group catching this one. Blaney giving the 41 a push. Matt DiBenedetto with a head of steam. Look at the outside, making moves. Blaney down to the bottom, underneath Custer. 3 wide, into turn 3. Blaney feels that he is clear. He is. Risky move. Great camera angle of it. He's got a few faster cars out in front of him now. Sam Modding, a NASCAR fan, welcome to the stream. Blaney's got to be able to hold the bottom here and be very, very careful. Starting to lose those 3 cars in front of him, but he just wants to stay on the WL lines. They get a run to his outside and let him go. And now he'll pull to the outside instead in front of Buescher so he can get some draft off of the 38 of Alfredo in front of him. He's helping for now. Buescher has a bit of a run of his own. Blaney down to the bottom to block. DiBenedetto to the inside of Almirola. Big checkup in the middle of turns 3 and 4. Blaney getting out of the gas. 17 to the outside of Chris Buescher. Getting pretty racy here, right around the race leader. They're all trying to get their lap back. Nobody to the outside of Blaney right now. Blaney to the inside of Anthony Alfredo off the exit of turn 2. Hops back in line on the outside in front of his teammate Cindric. Now Cindric going down to the bottom trying to block Cole Custer. That was a big time block as they race for 17th. Benedetto in 15th. So all these drivers are trying not to go a second lap down, because these ones were already a lap down at the restart to stage number 2. We have not had a caution in the second stage yet through about 15 laps. So we'll go back to the far chase cam for now. In the draft, Blaney is at least able to keep up. Just over 200 miles an hour heading into turn 3. Slower 3-car group that this pack of about 6 to 7 cars will be catching. Off the exit of turn 4, Blaney to the inside of Alfredo. He'll catch his affiliated teammate Matt DiBenedetto in the tri-oval. Chris Buescher followed the 12 of Blaney. Blaney managing the throttle, keeping a steady pace behind the 21. Jesus Manuel Ortiz, Ashton G, welcome to the stream. Final season, because it is the final season mode of this game. We still have a few more seasons of the career mode remaining. We're doing this on a semi-regular basis in between. All these races for this 36-race season will be live streamed, and the season is based off of the 2021 schedule, so all the scheduled races in 2021 in that order will be the races in the race order for this season, hence starting off, of course, with the Daytona 500 here tonight. And that was because I couldn't get the career mode recorded and edited in time for tonight's premiere due to the patch taking a little bit longer. I didn't know it was going to take me like an hour, even with my internet, to upload this morning. That put me just behind schedule, where it was going to be close to being done processing tonight, so that will be delayed a bit, but I wanted to give you guys some sort of NASCAR 21 option, and all stages are available now, so we'll be racing with the stages on for this season. Well, we've had our fair share of problems tonight. Scoring is already off, if you couldn't tell already. But Blaney is leading. There are 5 cars that are on the lead lap. Maybe potentially 1 lap down, only because Ryan Blaney has not made a pit stop under green flag conditions in Stage 2 because he pit at the stage break. He is leading quite a few laps. Has a run, gets to the inside into Benedetto. Buescher trying to side draft Blaney. Blaney's going as low as he can. He wanted no part of the 17 trying to side draft him. Buescher gets by on the outside, no problem. It's just a 3-car pack all of a sudden. Cindric and Alfredo have fallen off, as well as Custer. Buescher has a run, gets to the outside of DiBenedetto. Blaney going to go with Buescher. 3 Fords in a pack. DiBenedetto going to get hung out. Now he'll go a second lap down. Buescher only 1 lap down after getting back by Blaney. Blaney to the back bumper, the 17. Just managed to throttle and sit in line behind him. It's definitely as patient as the 12 car has been all day long, although he's been patient from the get-go. He's been getting caught up in other people's issues, has been his problem so far. None of his own doing. There was only one time where he had sent and actually made contact with another car, which could have considered his fault for driving a little too aggressively. That was when he made a 3-wide move towards the back of the pack on Timmy Hill and Martin Truex Jr. heading into turn 3 earlier. But even with the contact, luckily, that was the one time he actually didn't spin. With a little bit of contact that was held side by side. Wonder if the scoring issue was because of pitting during... Oh, the caution coming out when I was on pit lane? Is that what you're talking about? DiBenedetto dangerously close to that left rear corner panel of Ryan Blaney. Blaney had just enough room to move down. DiBenedetto with another massive run. Blaney going to go with him. See if they can work their way around the 17 of Buescher. Get to the inside. But DiBenedetto now going to go with the 17 of Buescher instead of Ryan Blaney. Blaney just going to have to hold the bottom. I'll tell you what, this 3-car group is racing pretty good with each other. So far. They're side drafting each other now, though, and Buescher's getting away. Blaney clears DiBenedetto again into turns 1 and 2. Had as many as 28 people watching, 19 likes on the stream so far. Smash the like button again, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. I mean, that could be. I felt it seemed as if the running order was normal. And it seemed like the 3rd caution, which was on the first lap after that restart from the 2nd yellow where I was on pit road when the caution waved, is when things got messed up. Because the running order was normal on that next restart. And it was normal after the first caution back on lap 2 also. But it has been out of whack seemingly since the 3rd. It could have been the 2nd, but it felt as if it was the 3rd. And we had one after that which ended the stage where unfortunately Blaney looked like he was going to win stage 1. Ended up finishing 4th. Bubba Wallace made the pass right before the caution. Blaney still has to make a green flag stop, though, and he may lose the lead. Some point as he just gets to the inside of Buescher. Really took the air off the left rear quarter panel. The 17 side drafted him enough that he was able to pull him back and clear off turn 4 to the start-finish line. DiBenedetto tried to follow the 12, but he couldn't quite do it. We got a few slower cars coming up. Corey LaJoie, James Davis, and BJ McLeod. Well, thanks for subscribing, Santiago Kid. I thought you were subscribed already, but hey, welcome to the party. This is definitely a channel you'll want to be for all sorts of NASCAR content, especially here in 2022 with the At the Track videos that I'll be posting, as well as the live commentary events so you guys can watch the race with me. Mute your televisions and I'll be doing the commentary for those races, or, you know, you can listen to both. Appreciate that as well. That was a great move by Buescher. He had a big run in the draft off the lap car, was able to get to the inside of Ryan Blaney. Lap car was Corey LaJoie, who they are actually battling for position. Blaney going to hop out of line down to the bottom. Benedetto's going to get picked. Blaney giving a little bit of a bump draft to the 17 of Buescher. Like James Davison's down in front of the 17 car, though. Buescher moves to the outside. Oh, Blaney might get stuck in the middle 3 wide. Now he's up to the high side himself. He might get freight trained. He's got McLeod behind him. I don't think BJ's got a very fast race car back at 25th. Lowest in the running order of the 5 cars in this group. 6, I guess, if you count Buescher, who's pulling away from it. Blaney backing out, pulls back down to the bottom. Massive run. Oh, BJ McLeod with a big block. Checking up the 12 of Blaney in the middle of the corner. McLeod hesitated and going to the outside in front of Davison and instead stayed on the bottom. Blaney trying to stay with him. Almost halfway. Again, went green at lap 67, so probably going to pit just after lap 100 will be the plan for Ryan Blaney. Wants to make sure he doesn't pit too early so he can make it to the end. Buescher hung out to dry. He got way too far ahead of the pack. DiBenedetto, McLeod, Blaney all ran him down. All swing right around that 17. Blissfully fast. Blaney to the inside of McLeod, who checked up off turn 4 for whatever reason. Blaney to the outside of Matt DiBenedetto into the tri-oval. I can't remember exactly what section I'm sitting in for the 500. I haven't bought my tickets for the other races yet. I want to say, I honestly don't even want to say because I cannot remember for the life of me. I bought my tickets back in August. Or ticket, I should say. So, again, I haven't bought the other ones yet. I'd imagine it's probably going to be general admission for the truck race like it is at most tracks. And maybe the Xfinity. It might not be for Xfinity. Truck Series, it'll probably be kind of sit wherever you want. They might have certain sections blocked off, but guess I'll have to wait and find out. I'll have to look at it. Benedetto and Blaney side by side all the way through 1 and 2 and down the back. Blaney blocking that double yellow line. He didn't want to get put 3 wide middle from Chris Buescher. Close quarters racing though between the 12 and the 21. Blaney trying to side draft to Benedetto again. And side by side for a full lap now. Will Blaney be able to clear to Benedetto this time? Through the tri-oval, he is clear. He doesn't move up, though, because Buescher's still got a head of steam on the bottom. Now Buescher to the outside, clearing the 21. LaJoie and Davison also down to the bottom to get by to Benedetto. Blaney up high to block the 17 of Buescher. Buescher's got to be careful up there. He may lose the bottom lane if he's not careful enough. And he's down to block Davison on the front stretch. Nearly halfway, and 4 more laps we will be there. Buescher, another head of steam. Trying to side draft that right rear corner panel of Blaney. Blaney moved down as he saw. Not the rear view, but we'll say the rear view. For the sake of realism. He must have got stacked and wadded up back there because Blaney is pulling quite a ways ahead of this pack. That's going to give Buescher a massive run into turn 3. Blaney going to hug the bottom. He'll give Buescher the outside. Corey LaJoie going with the 17. DiBenedetto almost went up the middle 3 wide. Blaney clips the apron in the tri-oval. He slides. He gets loose. Hangs on to it. LaJoie going to get by. DiBenedetto still stuck behind the 12. A little ill-handling moment that time for the 12 of Blaney, but he holds on to the lead. Jay Harmon can't touch this. Welcome to the stream. Blaney riding behind LaJoie. Pulls out a line to the bottom. DiBenedetto with him. Buescher makes the pass on the straight to David Reagan 36 car for front row. It's going to be nowhere to go for the 12 of Blaney. Oh, DiBenedetto really... Oh, Blaney's out of gas again. He's got a pit. He's got a pit. He's going to get spun. Down into the grass. Back across the racetrack, just trying to bring out the caution, and that will bring out the yellow. And how did he run out of gas again? After only 30 laps. Blaney again out of fuel. Caution will wave for the 5th time today. Made a great save down in the grass. Luckily, he didn't damage the car anymore. Four tires and fuel coming for the 12. I don't understand why we're running out of... That's the 2nd time Blaney's ran out of gas in this race. And that was after only 31 laps. But our 5th caution of the day. I really... This is... Oh my goodness. For those of you that watched the town hall, whether that NASCAR 21 Ignition posted, and it looks like Blaney will still restart from the lead, but it'll be at the back of the pack. I did not do that. That was the game. I think we're all... That was the game. Well, there's caution number 6. Might as well pit again. That's going to give the 12 a little bit more damage, too. Yeah, it's a good thing the track was clear when I started sliding back up there. And we're starting to have more issues with the game again. But again, to go back to it, this is why the game needs telemetry. Okay, this is exactly why. I literally have zero clue how Blaney has ran out of gas twice in this race now. Very fortunate caution came out both times, because otherwise he would have just gotten stranded on the racetrack. Green flag back in the air at Daytona. He did not slide sideways that time on the restart, thankfully. And he is still the leader. Somehow, some way. And the field is really wadding up. We're missing a lot of cars, too. It seems like it, at least. We've seen quite a few drivers pit already today. Blaney up the middle, 3 wide. Down the back straightaway making moves. Still stacking up. I don't know if this is a wise decision to go up the middle 3 wide, but he tried it. Oh, and we got cars pitting. Schneider's just going to go with him. He didn't want to. He did not want to pit with the rest of the field there, but everybody came into the pit lane. I have no clue. I think it might be fuel only for the 12 of Blaney. It was either that or he was going to have to turn up in front of the field. So pit stops under green randomly. late in the stage. I have no way of explaining exactly what's going on. This is live realistic commentary as usual. It is a 4-tire stop for the 12 team. And they will be making some damage repair. Hopefully he comes out with the lead still. Wesley, welcome to the stream. Might want to repair the car. I've tried all night. I'm not sure what is going on here. Why the field pitted after the restart. They're going to pull back up onto the racetrack. Nobody is coming. I was wondering why everybody was slow going into turn 3. Six cautions today, 4 at stage 1, 2 at stage 2, and I don't think we're done yet. But then, sorry, I keep trying to talk about the fuel situation and the reason why the game should have telemetry. Then one crazy thing happens after another while I'm talking. I can't get to the end of my statement. But anyway, the game needs telemetry for this reason. I have no clue why we're running out of gas after 31 laps. I could go 36 to 40 in this game. I've done it before at Daytona. On a half a tank of fuel, we went less than 18 laps earlier. At the end of stage 2, 2 to go, we ran out of gas. Luckily, the end of the stage came. Then we were lucky enough that a caution came the most recent time we ran out of gas here in stage 2. And I'm not sure why we ran out of gas to begin with. It doesn't make any sense. I was in the draft for a lot of that too. So I was saving gas in the draft. I wasn't running full throttle in our draft of behind cars. And we still only went 31 laps at Daytona. I literally made it to lap 98 after restarting at lap 67. That's 31 laps. And they were all green. They were all green flag laps, too. Well, DeBenedetto and Ryan Blaney are running side by side right now. Now, Blaney should win this stage, you would think. Then again, he is very slow. It's hard to tell if he's a lap ahead of the field or if he's on the lead lap. Well, obviously, Blaney's on the lead lap. I should say it's hard to tell where everybody else is, running order-wise. A lot of cars are out of this race, from what we've seen, but nonetheless, all the craziness we have seen today, Blaney's not only in this race after wrecking twice, which is why he's got as much damage as he does, but he is also leading the Daytona 500. He finished 4th at stage 1. He has a chance to win stage 2. So we have 15 laps to go in stage 2 this time. He will make it on fuel no matter what this time around. I can guarantee that he is going to make it on fuel. By the way, I have no clue why I had tires when I clearly had 1 can of fuel down on the bottom. I thought it was going to be fuel only for that reason. But it wasn't. I don't even know. Shake and bake, yeah, 21 and 12. Affiliated teammates, 1 for the Wood brothers, 1 for Penske. Blaney giving him a little bit of a bump draft off the exit of turn 2. Benedetto got a little wiggly. Hangs on. He's in 19th. I just saw the 48 pop up on the screen. He is currently in 11th. Remember, he started on the pole. O'Shea Carlton, welcome to the stream. How's the leaderboard messed up? I have no clue. But it's obviously all over the place if you're looking up there. Blaney is the leader. But again, there's no telemetry, not only for fuel and tires, but there's no way with this inaccurate leaderboard to tell how far Blaney is ahead of second place. Now, I have seen an icon pop up in that leaderboard that Brad Keselowski is currently in second. Now Kyle Larson's in second. So Larson is in second, but no way of telling exactly how far back they are. You'll see it flash up, but the interval isn't quite accurate with those guys either. It's 16, now it's down to 14. There's no way he gained 2 seconds of actual time in less than that. Tyler Reddick out of nowhere is drafted to the back of Blaney. Blaney's just going to let him go. He's not even going to race anybody to the end of this stage. Oh, didn't realize Anthony Alfredo was there either. Again, this game needs a rearview mirror and telemetry. I don't care what NASCAR 21 had to say about it in the town hall. This game needs it desperately. This will definitely be one of those NASCAR video games I have no intentions of going back playing once the next game comes out. Said that about the Heat games. I haven't gone back to any one of those older ones, and same goes for this, but this is in a much worse way. O'Shea, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I already talked about that earlier in the stream, so I'm not going to beat a dead horse at this point. Be the equivalent of what I'd be doing if I went back into talking about it. Do I play basketball? I did in high school. I haven't shot a ball since. I'm sure if you gave me like 20 minutes to just warm up and constantly shoot, I could probably get my shot back, but yeah, I haven't played since. Anthony Alfredo down to the apron. He didn't actually move past the 12 on the apron. He moved back up when they got side by side. Plus, it's not for position anyway, so I guess it wouldn't even be illegal for Anthony Alfredo anyway because it's not for position. Again, it's hard to tell exactly how far back Larson and Stenhouse are. Blaney has had a lot of speed knocked out of the car after that most recent accident. The first one, he still had all of his speed primarily back in it. Second one, he's knocked a little bit out of it. In the draft, he can at least maintain drafting pace, but leading the pack, or leading a draft group, he is not able to do so. And he is side by side with Alfredo right now, side drafting back and forth, not helping him either. He's going to pull clear of Alfredo in the tri-oval this time around. 10 laps to go in stage 2. Race cars coming to the pits at the stage break. Is that what you're talking about? Larson, Stenhouse, at least according to the leaderboard, are somewhere between 6 to 7 seconds back. Blaney got passed with a lap and a half to go and fell back to 4th at the end of stage 1. Will something similar happen again? Again, the good thing is Blaney only made it 31 laps on field somehow that last run. Off this most recent restart, we had about 20 to go, so there is no reason why he should run out of gas this time. There was no reason he should have before. Definitely no reason it should happen again. O'Shea, I also agree with you wholeheartedly on that one. That's kind of been the decline of sports games in general for some reason. They're all graphics based. The graphics are the top priority for most game developers now, but I don't play most other games, so maybe I'd be inaccurate in saying that. As far as sports games I've played within the last few years, of newer releases, NASCAR included, that's just how the sports video game industry is now. It's off of graphics. Graphics are out of this world, hence this game. Best graphics I've ever seen in a NASCAR video game. Gameplay is god-awful. It's so bad. So Larson, Keselowski, and those guys were 6 seconds back last lap, according to the leaderboard. Now they're only a second off of Ryan Blaney and Anthony Alfredo, and they are coming in hot pursuit. Blaney might have another stage stolen from him, because Larson and Keselowski are going to have a massive run into turn 3. But Alfredo was able to slide down in front of him and pull off the block. Keselowski and Larson side by side for second now. Stenhouse in that group as well. It's a 4-car race with 7 laps to go in Stage 2 in the Daytona 500. On NASCAR 21 Ignition final season. Blaney pulling Alfredo a little bit. It's going to give these guys a massive run to Blaney down the back straightaway, you'd have to imagine. Blaney does have a teammate of Keselowski up there. Will Keselowski work with him? Larson's getting picked behind the 38. The 2 has a run. Stenhouse behind him. Blaney's going to have to block for his life to hold on to the lead. He'll do his best. 6 to go this time by in the stage. Keselowski looking high. Stenhouse underneath him. 2 lanes to block now for Ryan Blaney. 6 to go at the line. This could actually be an entertaining finish to the end of Stage 2. Blaney can will this car after 2 crashes today to not only finish the race and not DNF, but to potentially win the Daytona 500 might be a comeback story for the ages as far as this channel's history is concerned. And he's got some great super speedway racers behind him in Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Brad Keselowski, none of which they'll have won the Daytona 500. Blaney, a good super speedway racer himself with 3 career wins in the Cup Series on super speedways, all since 2019. 5 to go. Larson high. Big block by Blaney to the outside. Now back down to the bottom in front of Stenhouse. Into turn 1. And he'll hold on. Stenhouse again with a run. Blaney down to the bottom to block. On the double yellow line. Larson to the outside. Too big of a run. Help from Keselowski. Larson to the lead in the Daytona 500. 4 to go this time by. Keselowski to second. Stenhouse on the outside. Not going to have enough help. And Blaney's just not quick enough to keep up with those guys. He'll hold on to third. But Keselowski and Larson are pulling away into turns 1 and 2. Unless we get another accident at the end of the stage like we did in stage 1. Blaney could potentially miss it and get to the lead. I doubt that that's going to happen, but you never know. Field is as spaced apart now as what they've been all race long. Blaney just holding on for third at this point with Stenhouse behind him. Do I do iRacing commentary? No, I do not. I'd like to. Be something I'd be up for. It's got to be a legitimate league, though. Stenhouse is just not able to get around Alfredo. There are lap cars holding up Keselowski and Larson. 2 to go this time by. Will they get held up enough for Blaney to catch him? Looks like Keselowski's actually losing the 5 of Larson just a bit. 2 to go at the line. Blaney loose in the tri-oval as he clipped the apron. Well, that'll give Stenhouse third. Again, with the natural pull to the left in this game, you even tag the apron like that, and you're going for a ride, and Blaney just nearly went for a ride that time. Now, Bell, Logano, and Buescher, 5th, 6th, and 7th. They might have a chance to catch Blaney. Blaney at least going to try to finish 4th like he did back in Stage 1. Stenhouse doesn't have any drafting help, though. At least Blaney's got Alfredo behind him. It's the final lap of Stage 2. Larson leads. Keselowski 2nd. Stenhouse 3rd. Blaney 4th. Blaney's in the draft to Stenhouse now in 1 and 2. He's going to have a big run. Blaney has the run. Looks low. Into turn 3. Side draft Stenhouse. Alfredo going to go with him to the bottom. Clear off turn 4. Blaney to 3rd. Only fought that position back. Kyle Larson has won Stage 2 in the Daytona 500. And now to the stage break. There you see the total stage points today. Your stage points in Stage 2. Kyle Larson 1st. Brad Keselowski 2nd. Ryan Blaney 3rd after finishing 4th in Stage 1. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 4th. Christopher Bell 5th. Chase Briscoe 6th. Kurt Busch 7th. Eric Jones 8th. Alex Bowman 9th. Joey Logano will round out the top 10. I'll take the picture once again of the stage points because I will be having to do points myself this season. All these races on the Race Now schedule. And on to the final stage of the Daytona 500, but first pit stops will be upon us. Schneider going to go for 4 tires and fuel. We'll be repairing at least some of that damage. Can we get to the end of this Daytona 500 in one piece? As we are about to head to another restart. Nobody pit, for the most part, during the stage break. That is interesting. Blaney will restart at 4th. Green flag back in the air. Pretty good launch on the restart. Going to go 3 wide to the outside. All the way to the bottom. Blaney 3 wide into turn number 1. Might see some cars pitting after the restart like they did on a caution back in Stage 2. They are stacking up. You saw some contact, some sparks flying down the back straightaway. Blaney can't pass up the run. This is going to be risky. Into turn 3. 3 wide. A little bit of contact with Tyler Reddick. The 12 gets knocked sideways. Holds on to it. Well, they're racing now. Leader's getting away at the front. Blaney clipped the apron, got a little sideways again. If you couldn't tell, the final stage already started. By the racing we have seen since the restart, I don't know what to tell you. It is the Daytona 500, and it is go time. Blaney clipped the left rear corner panel of Kurt Busch. Look at Reddick moving across the front bumper of the 17, who moves down, nearly gets crowded into by the 36 of Reagan, who was on the outside. 3 wide, into 3 and 4. That hasn't worked well. No contact that time around as Schneider makes a few passes. Still working his way through. Down to the bottom. Underneath James Davison. 3 wide. Middle goes Reddick. Not enough help. Blaney, a little push. And a bump draft to the 52 of Balicki, who now slides in front of Briscoe. So the order got randomized again. Now only the top 4 are on the lead lap. Can anybody tell me how 5th, 6th, and 7th, who were not that far behind Stenhouse and Blaney on the restart, went a lap down. Or not that far behind at the end of the stage, went a lap down. So, what we've learned from this live stream as far as NASCAR 21 Ignition is concerned is that there are scoring errors still with cautions on this game. And there are scoring errors with stages in this game. Not scoring errors in the sense that it doesn't calculate the stage points right. The stage points are calculated correctly. But the scoring after the fact for the caution is not. And it's randomized still, which was the biggest issue before the patch, and they still have not fixed it. And with adding stages, that's only adding 2 more cautions a race, which creates a bigger potential for something like that to happen. Blaney made a big transfer on the back straightaway to the outside in front of Kurt Busch, and then back to the bottom in front of Buescher. Massive run off turn 4 as he tries to get around his teammate Joey Logano. Help from Buescher. Logano all clear. 3 Penske cars, actually all 4 of them in the top 10. If you count Austin Cindric as that 4th Penske car. Just past Logano for position for 6. All 4 Penske cars are in the top 7. Of course, that's not including De Benedetto, who is an affiliated Penske car, but he is racing for the Wood Brothers, single car organization. The top 3 pulled away on the restart. They're about 7 seconds ahead of Blaney. Be Larson, Keselowski, Stenhouse. Long ways to go. 65 laps left this time by. 1 pit stop remains in the race, at least. For Blaney's sake, we don't know how many. Sorry if there was a lag there, by the way. OBS just disconnected and then reconnected back on me. Sorry for that. If there was a lag spike. Oh boy, big run. Blaney hesitated trying to block Logano. He let him through. Buescher was able to hold back the rest of the group on that inside lane, and Blaney moved down with Buescher. Logano got out ahead far enough. Blaney gets right back to him. This was the battle for the lead in the Daytona 500. This would be extremely exciting, but the top 3 are on another level right now since the restart. Not sure why Blaney restarted back in the pack. Really shouldn't have. So many questions with this game that have yet to be answered. Properly, at least. They've answered some of them, but not to our liking. Not because we don't like the answers to the questions because of that being the actual answer to the question, but because they dodge the answers to the question by creating thoughts or opinions that sound knowledgeable on paper, but they really aren't in the grand scheme of things. For some, not all things. Well, Bowman always qualifies well for the 500. It'll be interesting, though, if Hendrick's still going to be that fast, or Chevys in general are going to be as fast as they usually are for qualifying for the super speedways with the next-gen car. Completely different car, that might not be the case. Blaney clear down the back straightaway of the 22 of Logano. He had a big run off the exit of turn 2. Gets by him. Blaney not battling anybody for position as he is in 4th place. Now with him pitting during the stage break, you would think that everybody else is going to pit well before him. And maybe they have to make 2 stops to the end, considering they did not pit at the stage break and Blaney did. Blaney still might have to pit twice as well. We'll just have to wait and see. Guarantee Blaney's going fuel only during his stop. Assuming he has to make it again under green. Could get another caution. We had 2 cautions in stage 2, 4 cautions in stage 1. Kurt Busch, Chris Buescher to the bottom. Buescher going up to try and side draft the 12 of Blaney, who is on the outside, just trying to hold his line. Shot out of a cannon off 4 was Blaney. Has a run to the back of Kurt Busch. He'll go to the outside of Busch now. Into the tri-oval. Oh, Busch turns him! Spin into turn 3. Contact. Multiple cars around. Buescher's around. Almirola and Bubba Wallace get a piece of the accident And we have our 7th caution of the race. That's the second time Kurt Busch has hooked the 12 of Ryan Blaney tonight. The first time was back on lap 2. Blaney survives another one. He kept it off the wall. He got beat around by about 2 or 3 other race cars in the middle of that crash. But ultimately will make it through. He'll pit during the yellow. He still won't be able to make it on field to the end from here, even if we could go full 40 laps. And our first caution of the final stage is out. Oh, are you kidding me? The game just crashed. The game just crashed with less than 60 laps to go in the Daytona 500. We've been here for almost 2 hours. Less than 60 to go in the Daytona 500, and the game decides to crash. Edwin Justice, welcome to the stream. Wow. I'll tell you what, of all things that were happening so far tonight, I was not expecting that to happen. We're not done yet. Good thing I take the... It's a good thing I took the picture of the stage points, because I said I was going to have to do the points myself anyway. Gotta make sure I mute this so I don't get copyrighted. I cannot believe that happened. Sorry, come on. I think we're all right. Yeah, sorry, there's another lag spike. That was the second time OBS just disconnected and reconnected on me. We're having all sorts of issues. Okay, anyway, what I was saying, we're gonna finish this race. We're gonna have about 50 laps to go in the Daytona 500 anyway. So we'll restart with 50 laps to go. Just making sure all the settings were normal. Yeah. Those are the settings for the season. 750 ovals I'll have stability help on again. Daytona 74 degrees. We'll just go race only, means we already practiced and qualified. Rain to position for simulated qualifying, so no clue where we're going to start. 25%. Stages will be off because we only have about 50 laps to go. NASCAR rules will be on, so we will have yellows on. Well, it's a new race. Almost completely. Yeah, I don't know why. That was the second time it's lagged tonight. For whatever reason. Notice both times were not in the middle of actual green flag racing. I just cannot believe it was that close to the end. I think the last time the game crashed on me was the Coke 600. On the career mode, when we live streamed it. We had like 25 laps to go and the game crashed. I think that was the last time the games crashed on me. It's been a good month. Maybe a little more than that. It's not the game system. I guarantee you it's this game specifically. It is not my PS4. Knowing the issues with this game, I guarantee it's the application. All right. Well, we're going to be restarting from the lead. I will take that. I was scared I was going to be at the back of the pack. Still one pit stop left to the end. Blaney has been involved in 3 accidents, but he has survived the day to this point. And we'll have 50 laps to go on the restart following caution number 7. Green flag back in the air in the Daytona 500. Again, the stage points will be accounted for. Everybody's back in it. Eric Almirola to the lead. Great jump. Blaney didn't take off well in that bottom lane. Blaney, though, back down to the bottom off the exit of turn 2 with help from Tyler Reddick. Almirola went back to the outside in front of Kyle Larson in the 5. This could be the 3rd different time Blaney has led in the Daytona 500 today, and he is clear into turn 3 with the lead. "40 cars humming by with 49 laps left in the Great American Race." Never mind the upper right-hand corner of the screen where it says it's 50 laps. This is the full 200. And we were in contention to win regardless, so it's not like this is completely resetting it. In fact, this actually hurts us, because now instead of being the only one of 4 cars on the lead lap, all 40 are back in it. It is, again, still one stop to the end. Blaney trying to hold on. All the drama we've had in this race today, for better or for worse, for not only the entertainment aspect of it, but just the racing aspect of it, the game glitches. I don't know what happened with the camera there. That was... I did not touch the analog stick. I had that happen to me in practice, so I was hoping that I wasn't going to do it in the race. It's going to allow Kurt Busch to get to the bottom, with Blaney not being able to get to the bottom. Contact with the 21 of DiBenedetto, and Blaney holds on. How did that not spin the 12 car out? What a save off of turn 2. And now DiBenedetto and Kurt Busch are side by side for the lead into 3. They're going to go up the hill a little bit. DiBenedetto's clear. Blaney to second. Bump drafting DiBenedetto. Now he'll slide underneath the 21. I don't even think DiBenedetto's going to lead the lap. Blaney holds on. What a fight for the lead in the Daytona 500. Again, I am 0 for 7 at Daytona in this game. 0 for 5 on Daytona on the oval. We broke the losing streak on NASCAR 05 when I was 0 for 5 at Daytona in that game. 0 for 5 on the oval here, and again, including the road course, just 0 for 7 in general at Daytona in this game. And Blaney has a chance to break the curse. After all of what has happened tonight, just to stay in contention is truly amazing. A little less racy, at least for the front couple cars in this group. Reddick sits behind Blaney with Kurt Busch, Kyle Larson, Matt DiBenedetto. A 5-car breakaway, about a second at the most ahead of that second pack. Oh, we've got a lag spike going on right now. Whoa. Do you guys see the AI lag? We're not doing it this way. Why? What is wrong with this game? What is wrong with this game? I did not have that issue all night. That's not how we're ending it. That is not gonna happen. Jerry Boylard, welcome to the stream. Commentary better than TV broadcast. They should add you. It's my dream. It's my dream. And if you want to help me out on that journey, subscribe to the channel, like the stream. Well, I guess we're going to have 50 laps to go. Well, I guess this is going to be right back to the normal race length instead of a couple laps short. Now we just got to hope that that doesn't happen again. Try to keep my calm. It's the biggest race of the season. But I appreciate that. And if you do like the live commentary, we'll be doing some live commentary of actual races for the Cup Series, the Truck Series, and the Xfinity Series all throughout 2022. I did some last year, but I only did about a dozen. I will be doing about twice as many total this season. A lot more frequent throughout the course of the year. Starting off with the Busch Clash in 10 days, as you see on the left side of your screen. Hopefully no game glitch errors, please. That's all I ask. Caution, back in the pack. This is interesting. Yellow flag is out. Blaney will stay out from the lead. Our 8th caution of the race today. Green flag back in the air. Blaney thought about pitting, but probably going to be a couple laps short on fuel anyway if he would have pit there. We have 43 laps to go in the Daytona 500. The fuel window is 36 to 40 laps. Busch has a push from behind from Tyler Reddick. And he's going to get to the lead for the first time in the Daytona 500. The 8 and the 12 holding each other back. But it's Kyle Busch leading the Great American Race for the first time off of turn 4. Blaney's going to pull up. He blocks the 8 of Reddick into the tri-oval. Back down in front of Larson on the bottom. That was a risky move to pull up in the first place, but it pays off. At least for right now for the 12. So many drivers who have not won the Daytona 500 are up inside the top 5 late. In fact, all of them in the top 5 have never won the Great American Race. Some in a lot more tries than others. A couple of drivers have won at Daytona. At the front of the field, Kyle Busch has won the summer race once before, so has Ryan Blaney and Eric Almirola. But never the 500. Larson and Blaney work together to get to first and second. Blaney in the lead for the 4th different time tonight. 41 laps to go in the Daytona 500. Just trying to hang on to the end. Larson to the outside for the lead. Not enough of a run when he moved up, and Kyle Busch will get back to second and slide up in front of Larson now. Busch to the outside of Blaney. Blaney pulled to the bottom. Well, the game crashing and the glitches we've had have led Kyle Busch to contention to try and compete for the win. All things considered, we're still going to end up getting a full 200 in. Assuming, obviously, Blaney doesn't DNF to the end of the race now. As he gets to the inside of Kyle Busch. Busch tried to pull the block. Now he's lost a little bit of momentum. Blaney back to the lead. Just trying to keep himself in this lead pack. Tyler Reddick in second. Some of the field has dropped off a bit, but most of them are still up towards the front. All with a shot to win the Daytona 500. Not sure if anybody DNF'd out of that last caution or not either. So unaware if all 40 cars still have a shot. Can tell you we get a caution from now to the end of the race. They will be able to make it on fuel. So I'd imagine most of the field would pit. We know Blaney definitely would. Blaney back to the bottom in front of Larson. He held up the outside with Reddick trying to lead the way up there. Christopher Bell back in the top 5. Before the game crash, he was up running in the 5th position. Blaney was passed in the final 3 laps in both Stage 1 and Stage 2. Finished 4th in Stage 1, 3rd in Stage 2. So he knows that the best place to be is in the lead when you're the one trying to control the race. It's hard to control the pack of race cars, especially with the more recent Super Speedway package in the Cup Series especially. But it's still probably the more comfortable spot to be in. Vulnerable at times, but maybe not as vulnerable in the middle of the pack where if one thing goes wrong, somebody else is doing. Get caught up in somebody else's problems, and that is the end of the race. We've seen Blaney get caught up in a few people's problems already. Get involved in 3 accidents today, but he has survived. 8 cautions, though, in this race. That's a lot to start the season. For a game where we don't see that many yellows most of the time. Especially natural yellows like we've seen today. But it is Daytona after all. Part of the product of Super Speedway racing. Blaney and Larson kind of pulling away from the rest of the pack. I almost said lap 15 at the line. It'd be lap 165. It is a 2-car breakaway all of a sudden. Blaney and Larson. Somehow they pulled away from the pack. They're going to stay nose to tail and try to keep it that way. Two by two back there. I think they're just side drafting each other enough that they're slowing each other up. Now they're 3 wide in the tri-oval. Might end up seeing a caution back there before long. It will be a fuel-only stop if it ends up being a pit stop under green whenever Blaney decides to pit. Knowing the scoring errors with cautions in this game, Blaney would like to not be the first one to pit. Just going to go half a tank of fuel, assuming he pits closer to the end. Trying to make this stop as quick as possible when the time comes. Martin Truex Jr. is up to 3rd place. We have not seen him all day. He was actually in last with one of the first drivers to DNF. In fact, the first driver to DNF earlier before the game crashed. Less than 60 to go. You got 2 JGR Toyotas trying to work together of Truex, Bell. Actually 3 of them, considering Kyle Busch is up there as well. A lot easier for Blaney to block just the 1 car of Larson right now, and it's tough for Larson to get a gigantic run. It's better that these 2 stay nose to tail like this, though. It's going to be a lot harder for other drivers to try and get closer. Not impossible, though, once they get singled out a little bit better. We're going to alternate through the different camera angles one more time in today's race when we get back to the start-finish line. This Daytona 500. Pack a little bit faster that last lap than both Blaney and Larson. Larson actually sat back in the tri-oval that time. Blaney's about 2 to 3 car lengths ahead of him going into turn 1. Larson holding back, trying to get maybe a little bit better of a run. To look to the outside because of it. But again, with only one car in that group, it's a little easier for Blaney to throw the block. Yeah, Bowman, for statistical purposes, did qualify on the pole. Even with the reset. $25 likes on the stream right now. You guys have done a great job with that. We've had upwards of 29 people watching at one point here tonight. Subscribe again for more daily NASCAR content. Realistic commentary for not only these NASCAR video games past and present, but for the real races once the race weekends come upon us here in just a couple weeks, starting with the Busch Clash on Sunday, February 6th. I'll not be able to play the music that they will have with the live performances throughout the day for copyright issues, but as usual, driver interviews will be included in the commentary, and we'll have a live leaderboard with all the statistics on the raw feed from NASCAR's website as well on the screen while I'm commentating, so you will have some graphics to look off of on how the race is going on top of the commentary itself. Wonder if that pack is buying their time a little bit. Blaney and Larson have pulled away, but they're not continuously pulling away. They've stayed within 1.5 to 2 seconds ahead of the pack, and that's been about it. But when they get a run to the back of that 5 car of Kyle Larson, they will have a massive, massive run. Don't look now, but we have less than 30 laps to go in this 500-mile race. And Blaney still leads. I honestly can't believe it. If I would have been running towards the back when the game crashed, I wouldn't have finished the race, to be completely honest. We would have gotten our stage points. I would have just taken, a DNF, but, no, we were in 4th place with a shot to win. I'm not going to take that away, because with this game, we may never have a chance to win another Daytona 500. I know I said this is the last one, and it is for this season, but again, the career mode, we still got a few more seasons left that I want to do there. And I know this isn't the career mode, but Ryan Blaney, the shot to win his first Daytona 500 and get career win number 7. Larson's just not able to get a run. Denny Hamlin is up to 3rd. Mr. Daytona himself. And he's got teammates Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, and Christopher Bell all in line behind him, and the Joe Gibbs Toyotas might spoil the party of the Hendrick Chevy of Larson and the Penske Ford of Blaney. Hamlin and Truex are drafting closer to the 5 of Larson. Some of it might be that the 12 and the 5 are kind of pulling away from one another. They're not as tightly bunched together like they were. Single file line now inside the top 10 as well, and that's another reason why the pack is growing closer and not racing each other as hard. as they set up closer for the finish of the race. Larson has backed up to the front of Hamlin. Hamlin has not made the pass on him. Now Larson is going to be the one to get a big run on Blaney. It's one way to try to block him. And here we go once again. It mellowed out for about a dozen laps or so, but it's getting racy again down the back straightaway. Larson and Hamlin on the outside. Truex leading the bottom. Here comes Larson. Looking high. Hamlin going to hang out the 5. The Toyota stick together of Truex and Hamlin. Down to the bottom, off turn 4, Hamlin is up to second. Where did he come from? Somewhere probably deep in the field. 25 to go in the Daytona 500. Kurt Busch going to go with Denny Hamlin, splitting up the Joe Gibbs Toyotas. Blaney hooked to that double yellow line, but he's also got to be able to block the run of Hamlin because he has a fast enough car. Maybe he'll pull away. Stenhouse up to 4th. And there's a couple lap cars working their way into turn 3 that this group will catch eventually. Hamlin looking low. Blaney to block. It's not just one Joe Gibbs Toyota Blaney's trying to hold back. You see Truex in 4th. Busch in 5th. Bell in 6th. Larson fell all the way back to 7th now. Massive run. Hamlin laid back in the tri-oval. Here he comes to the outside. Kurt Busch thought about going with him. He doesn't. Hamlin's teammates will go with him instead of Truex and Busch. Kyle Busch, that is. Kurt Busch is on the bottom. Reddick is back inside the top 6 as well. And here comes the Joe Gibbs Toyotas. Again, a big run down the back straightaway. Hamlin being patient, but he's too patient. He's going to get hung out by his teammate Truex, who will now take over 2nd place. And they're backing up to potentially get another run on the 12. Blaney pulled him quite a bit on the front stretch that time. It's not close enough with the cars in front of him. David Reagan, Brendan Gaughan. Blaney holds full throttle, guns it 3 wide to the inside. What a move. That might split the field up a little more. They're held up double wide. They can't get around him like Blaney did. A gutsy move. Blaney had to have been going 10 miles an hour faster than those 2 cars that were off the pace, but he makes it through. We'll go back to the far chase cam for the remaining 22 laps of the Daytona 500. Again, everybody still has to pit. Don't forget about that. Blaney is about 2.5 seconds ahead of Busch, who's now up to 2nd. Larson back to 3rd. DiBenedetto to 4th. We haven't seen him up towards the front in a while. And I think Chastain's out of the race. He might have been involved in that last caution. Seemingly the only driver that's done for the day. All 39 on the track, 37 on the lead lap. Look at how much that pack got split up. Larson, Busch, DiBenedetto all got by the lap traffic, but Blaney's 3 seconds ahead. Blaney may pit soon. He's been leading most of the time since the last restart. Not every lap, but most of them. So he hasn't really been able to save much fuel going full throttle all the way around the track, and he may not want to run out of gas. The way the telemetry is non-existent, the crew chief has been telling us to pit since 20 to 25 laps ago. And it is a one-stopper to the finish, no matter what. 19 to go this time by. Blaney's managing his gap right now, for the most part. They're creeping in. But this 12 car has had a lot of speed, despite the fact he was 14th in practice and 11th in qualifying. He's led quite a few laps today. Probably the most of any driver. And if he doesn't win this one, will there ever be one that I'm going to win in this game? As far as the Daytona 500 is concerned. .36 to 40 laps is the pit window. I don't think you take it a lap past 36 if you're Blaney. We'll stay out again, 18 to go this time by as laps count down slowly. Guys might be watching history on the channel today. Can Blaney pull off the win? He's had a great points day overall with the stage points too. What a great start to the year. Even if he doesn't win, if he just gets a solid finish. Blaney again, gonna stay out. I think Blaney will pit this time by. Lap 34, he'll pit by himself. But he really does not want to run out of fuel. He should be able to make it 2 more laps. But he isn't even going to risk it. And he's going to take a full tank of fuel, not just a half a tank either. No tires, though. It'll be a fuel-only stop for the 12 of Blaney, so he's going to have to make sure he doesn't lock the tires up coming into the pit lane. We've seen some spins all day today entering into the pits. 55 miles an hour is the speed limit. He is down in time. Lead will go to Kyle Larson and Kyle Busch, the Kyle and Kyle show at the front of the field, but with 17, now 16 laps to go in the Daytona 500, the money stop for Ryan Blaney. Needs to be quick. It's going to be gas and go. We don't know how the rest of the drivers are going to go. I thought he was going to loop it getting into his box. That was a close call. I thought the AI was going to cost us there. It would have been fitting of this race. This game in general. Probably could have gotten away with one cam. Really just trying to be patient with it. Back up onto the racing surface goes Ryan Blaney. He does have to stay on the lead lap in case we do get a caution, but he should be able to stay out of the pits and restart from the lead if we do get a yellow. As long as he stays on the lead lap. Kyle Busch, Martin Truex Jr., William Byron are roaring off of turn 2. Blaney still getting up to speed down the back straightaway. He's going to have to block him. He's going to go high. Back to the bottom. There goes Busch. Truex with a bump draft to the back of the 12. Gave him a shot. That's going to keep the 12 out in front off turn 4. And when will the rest of the leaders pit? 14 to go in the Daytona 500 for Kyle Busch this time by. 17 attempts to win this race for Busch. At least when the 2022 race will come about, so I guess this would technically be his 16th attempt. But he has yet to win the Daytona 500. What a shot from the back of the 19 who was trying to go for the lead, and now Truex is underneath. Kyle Busch, in nearly just as many tries to win this race for Truex. Came close in 2016, runner-up by a nose to his teammate, eventual teammate Denny Hamlin. Busch is hung up on the outside. 200 cars working together now of Larson and Byron to second and third. Lead group did not pit that time. And Blaney's just going to have to cycle back to the lead. I'm not going to lie, for fuel only, that was a pretty slow stop considering he came out just in front of those leaders. I mean, a 4-tire stop probably would have done that. I'm honestly scared if we do get a caution that the game is going to trap us a lap down because of it. Which isn't my fault if it happens, but it is what it is. A lot of the field just pit that time by. William Byron is the leader. DiBenedetto in second. Truex in third. All three of those guys stayed out. At least one more lap. Watch out for the race cars coming in the pits. Yep. Coming out especially as well. Again, we have seen 2 or 3 crashes on cars trying to enter the pit lane today in general. No cautions came out because of it, though. Pretty cleanly so far, as we continue to stay green in the Daytona 500. Can he get all of his spots back? There's Larson in the 5. The 18 of Kyle Busch is on the apron in turns 1 and 2. They might have went fuel only as well. Blaney is roaring off turn 2. Busch was leading at the start of the pits. Now he's trying to get up to speed. He's going to try to block like Blaney did before. Blaney with a run. He'll go low into 3. No chance for Busch to block the 12 who was already up to speed. That was a big pass. Can Busch keep up, though, with the 12 of Blaney? More cars still in the pits. Blaney's still got to cycle all the way out to the lead as well. He's back inside the top 10 currently. It's Cole Custer. DiBenedetto in 8th. Top 7 still have to pit. Busch is still within a second of the 12 of Blaney after getting up to speed as well. Who would have thought the field was going to be this strung out at the end of the race, the way things were packed together for most of the run. But we knew we had to make one more pit stop to the end regardless of what was going to happen. And it happened to be under green because we haven't seen a caution in a while. This is the longest green flag run of the race so far. And it would end on a 43-lap green flag run to the finish if we did stay green. There's William Byron getting up to speed in turns 1 and 2. Blaney to second. One car still has to pit. So we have 10 laps to go in the Great American Race. And Kyle Busch is going to try to make this a battle for the finish. He's tried for so many years to win this race. And it might just be between Blaney and Busch to the end. Busch has a run off turn 4. He's going to have to take every run he can get. There he goes to the outside. Blaney hesitated, blocks, he's clear. And he's back in the lead as the leader pit that last time by. Now Busch down to the bottom. Benedetto in 3rd, Kyle Larson in 4th. And the race is on for the Daytona 500. Busch all the way to the apron. Can't pass down there. He's still in line behind the 12, though. Maybe just trying to force Blaney up off the double yellow so he can get underneath him. 2 lap cars of Kaz Gralla and Austin Cindric will be caught probably next lap, if I had to imagine, by both Blaney and Busch. And they're side by side right now. That could be the difference maker in who wins this race. Larson to third with Bell in fourth. Will they be able to catch the top 2? There's another car also in the tri-oval, all by his lonesome self. Even in front of the 2 cars that are now no longer side by side. They're drafting with each other. Now they're side by side again going into turn 1. But meanwhile, the battle for the lead with 7 to go. Still heating up between Blaney and Busch. Larson and Bell, interval-wise, are catching both Blaney and Busch. They're also going to have to get through these 2 lap cars. So a couple 2-car tandems could decide the race. Where will Blaney go? To the outside. 3 wide on the lap cars of Cindric and Gralla. Holds on to the lead. Busch is held up just enough. Off turn 4, Busch is still trying to get around him. What a move by Blaney. Was just praying that the 2 cars underneath him knew he was going to go to that third and upper lane near the wall. Busch is a second off the lead. Hasn't passed Gralla yet. He has passed Cindric, though. Josh Bilicki in the 52 will be next. Blaney to the inside off turn 2. Easy pass on him. Busch has finally made it around Cindric. He's a second and a half off the lead. That will buy Blaney a little bit more time. Now Busch going to have to get around Bilicki pretty quickly as well. Five laps to go in the Daytona 500 for Ryan Blaney. A 1-second lead over Kyle Busch. Larson is under 2 seconds off the lead. He's caught the lap group, with Christopher Bell helping draft him. Bell and Busch may work together. Larson's up to second. It's Bell and Busch in third and fourth now. Still about a second and a half off the lead. 4 to go for Blaney. 10 more miles left of the 500. Hot pursuit in the tri-oval. Go the 5, the 20, and the 18. They're going to have a much bigger run. It's going to be harder to block now compared to just the one lone car Blaney had to block of Kyle Busch. Other pack back that are likely just lap cars. Busch going to pull out of line. He's trying to get the run off the back of the 12. It's going to stagger him a little bit. Into turns 3 and 4. 3 to go this time by. No rear view mirror in the game. We have not had a close finish in this game yet. Come down to the final lap based off of racing in general, and with 3 to go, this could be the first one, and it would kickstart the final season. Bell trying to block both Kyle Busch and Kyle Larson. He's up to second, trying to win just his second career race, his first at Daytona, but it was on the road course. Single file line and a big run to the back of the 12. Bell potentially looked low. He did. Nowhere to go. Blaney with an easy block. 2 to go this time by. Will they make it to the checker? It's down to these 4 drivers to win this race. Bell looking high. Blaney with a block. Down to the bottom goes Busch. He didn't go with his teammate. But now he's in the driver's seat in second place. And it could be the Kyle and Kyle show at the front of the field with Busch and Larson right there. Busch to the bottom. Now to the top. Blaney blocking for his life. Sending it into turn 3. Larson to the bottom. Bell did not go with Busch like Busch did not go with Bell the lap prior off turn 4. Larson is up to second. It is the final lap of the Daytona 500 for the final season of NASCAR 21 Ignition. Larson's got to run to the outside. Blaney will block off into turn 1. Back to the bottom again, down to the double yellow line. Where will the run be down the back straightaway for Blaney to try and pull the blocks again? He has dominated and led the most laps, all things considered. Now both the JGR Toyotas go with each other on the bottom. Bell and Busch. Bell leading them into 3. That might be the battling Blaney needs off of turn 4. And he is pulling away to the checker flag. Larson back to second. Busch battling Bell to the line for third. Ryan Blaney wins the Daytona 500. Unbelievable. What a way to start the season. Survival of the fittest has won this race. Unbelievable. Many of us thought the day would never come on this game in particular to win and have a chance to win the Daytona 500. But with Ryan Blaney to start this final season, we have proved that that is possible. James Davison, Brad Keselowski, Daniel Suarez, Ryan Newman, Brendan Gaughan, and Ross Chastain all DNF failed to finish this race. But as we look at the front runners at the end, Ryan Blaney with the win, Larson second, Kyle Busch third, Christopher Bell fourth, William Byron rounds out the top 5, DiBenedetto 6th, Elliott 7th, Custer 8th, Wallace 9th, Austin Dillon rounds out the top 10. Unbelievable. Just cannot believe what has happened. And let's go to Victory Lane, where we get to see Ryan Blaney celebrate with his crew and the Harley J. Earl Trophy. Unbelievable. Great finish to this race nonetheless, despite all the carnage throughout. We had 8 cautions total for incident. The game crashed once. We had a speed glitch at one point with less than 50 laps to go as well. And still, despite Blaney getting involved in 3 accidents, survived the day to win the Daytona 500. Not only to survive to get to the end of the race, but to win. He ran top 5 almost all day. All things considered. Even if some of that was because most of the field got trapped a lap down for a large portion of this race. And the timing caution while we were on pit road when the caution waved all the way back at stage 1, where we were running in 31st, kind of off the lead pack because of a spin and no caution with us and Truex to end up getting back into this race quickly and to score stage points at both stages, 4th and 3rd in the stages as well. Just a massive points day to start the season, on top of the fact that Ryan Blaney wins the race. Well, you have to like this. You have to like this stream, and you must subscribe for more daily NASCAR content, because we will have a lot more NASCAR coverage leading up on our road to Daytona. 24 days away to the Daytona 500. Speed Weeks even before then. The Busch Clash in 10 days. We'll be doing live commentary for that race. And, of course, the Daytona 500. I will be there all of Speed Weeks covering the action. You guys won't want to miss a thing. On the road to 10,000 subs, on the road, as always, to becoming a NASCAR commentator down the road. Thank you all so much for your appreciation and support. Great stream tonight. We had, again, 25 likes as of right now during this stream, and we had upwards of 29 people watching. So thanks for everybody coming out, especially for a middle of the week primetime race. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Thanks, everybody, again, for your support. And I will see you guys next time. R6, Cars One Boy, Wyatt Hansen, I saw you pop in there at the end. Welcome. And everybody else, have a good rest of your Thursday night. I'll see you back and better than ever again tomorrow.